Hello. At the beginning, I would like to seek mercy on the souls of our martyrs because of this wrong aggression on Tripoli and its outskirts. And we pray to Allah for the speed recovery for the injured and wounded, and that we succeed to the return of the displaced people as soon as possible. As of the beginning of our work, and despite the challenges that we have faced and difficult conditions, the Government of National Accord had believed that the solution will only come through dialogue between or among the peoples of the Libya, because it's the only way out of this crisis. Therefore, we have continuously worked in this trend, and we have met most of the categories and groups of society, and we encouraged meetings among Libyans and between Libyans. We are advocates of peace, and when aggression has taken place, we weren't hesitant to defeat it and deter it, defending our people and our capital city, and also defending the civil state that all Libyans aspire to achieve, and which have been, and the pillars of which have been maintained by the revolution of 17th February. And we are very believing that our forces will be able to deter this aggression and return it from when it has come. This aggression that is targeting the, obstructing the peaceful path and imposing the unipolar regime and holistic regime. Therefore, we have taken all measures to beef up our national army and our revolutionary people, and we were victorious by the will of Allah, and we proved to the whole world that the volcano ghadab, or volcano of anger, was successful, and we've repeated that there will be no military solution for the conflict in Libya, despite how clear this is. But the aggressor is insisting to wage this war after he's convinced that it's the great jihad and the confirmed conquest. Everyone was a witness that we have achieved good results in many fields, nationally and internationally, in the security arrangements that we have conducted in Tripoli and some other cities that have significantly contributed to the maintaining security and absorbing and integrating all the armed groups in the state institutions of police and security and army. And we have managed to defeat ISIS in many other cities because of the sacrifices of our heroes, and with the strategic cooperation with the friendly countries and international alliance against or for combating terrorism. This cooperation is still ongoing up until today. We had never and we will never spare any effort to defeat this ISIS, despite all the challenges we made. But with regard to the economy, we had the recovery journey has started through the economic reform system or program that relies on the integration and the financial policies and monetary policies and the good governance of expenditure, and in supporting the NOC and increasing the oil production levels. And we all know that we were about to hold the Libyan National Conference, but the aggressor, when in a flagrant challenge, in his failure attempt to have a new state quo or situation, but because of our courageous forces of army and the supportive forces, we have managed to learn them a good lesson. And the lie of saying it's a professional army is now false, because it was telling that it's a journey to come to Tripoli, and now you see that he is now collapsing and being defeated. In this regard, I would like to tell our people in the east of Libya that your history witnessed that you refuse injustice and tyranny, and there will be no dispute between all Libyans. This is the aggressor is trying to achieve this and make the colours of this fitna or this dispute among Libyans. They are trying to instigate and encourage the conflict between East and West and the combating ISIS, which is false, because the majority of Libyan people who are still silent, they have to say our word that we should stop killing our youth, and the war will be over. at any time, and the only people who will and in this regard, and I would like to pay tribute to all people who challenged and they raised the voice of truth against this wrong aggression, despite all the warnings that they were doing. And from my patriotic and national responsibility and this aggression that we have to fight and combat and allocate all resources to defeat it, today I'm presenting our political initiative to resolve this problem or crisis, and I call upon all Libyans to come around this initiative and build their democratic state. Our initiative is summarized as follows. First, that we need to hold the Libyan National Conference in coordination with the UN mission that includes all Libyans from all regions and cities, those who have political and social influence, and they call for peaceful solution, and they are calling for the right of building the state of rule of law and institutions. Second, this conference will agree on a roadmap for the future trend and path, and to implement or plan to conduct elections before the end of 1920. And we nominate a legal committee of that conference to draft all the laws for any imperative or elections that will be held. Third, the National Conference will adopt or endorse all the laws provided by the legal committee, and then refer them to the HNEC. Fourth, the National Conference will call upon the International Community and Security Council to support this National Conference, and the results will be compulsory for others, and UN will prepare for these imperatives and obligations, and to call the African Union and EU to provide the necessary support to make it successful. Fifth, set up committees by supervision of the UN from the national institutions in all sectors to provide the capabilities and resources that are necessary to conduct the elections, including the security arrangements that are very vital to make them successful. Sixth, the National Conference they will agree to mechanism of the decentralization mechanism and the good governance of the financial resources and social justice for all citizens, and also the good governance and transparency. Seventh, the National Conference will set up a national committee or board for reconciliation that will be devoted to reconciliation and activate the law of transitional justice and remedy and redressing and the compensation laws for the crimes and only crimes against humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, in our turn, we will work in our remaining period of term to increase the performance of this government in order to cope with the national imperatives and obligations, specifically the sector of economy, security, and also to continue the revising the expenditures with the CBL in Tripoli and Baida, which is agreed with the and we will continue our security arrangements and our project and plan to build army and police institutions on a professional basis. The task is to protect the society and protect the sovereignty of the state that incorporates our national army and revolutionary people from all over Libya. From here, we call upon the international society community to support this initiative and to be more decisive with the aggressor and open a file for all the crimes that have been committed during this aggression on the capital city of Tripoli and other cities of Tripoli. Finally, I would like to pay tribute to our national army and the supportive forces and revolutionary people in all battlefields who are now drafting and drawing, making sacrifices. And we tell them that the sacrifices of our martyrs will not go in vain, that our war with the aggressors continue. But I am a man of peace, but I will not accept that they steal the aspirations and dreams of Libyans, and I will lead the war this war of battle against the tyranny and autocracy, and no one will defeat us and make us do this defense and against this dictatorial aggression, and they will never succeed. Thank you.